Thank you. Welcome back for our closing session, which I now call to order. Well, thank you again, all of you, for being here. This has been a wonderful experience to have TriCon in La Crosse. I hope you had a great day, great couple of days with a lot of inspiration, a lot of time to connect with fellow Rotarians and be inspired as we worked to imagine Rotary this year. At this time, I'll call our next speaker to the stage. You met him, of course, yesterday and heard from him already this morning. A member of the Rotary International Membership Growth Committee, member of the Membership Society, General Chair of 2022 Zone 25B29 Institute, past Governor of District 5950, aide to Rotary International President nominee Stephanie Yurchik. From Edina, Minnesota, we welcome back Tom Gump.
Thank you so much. I just feel so lucky to be here with you this afternoon. I mean, dedicated Rotarians that stay on a Saturday to this hour, that's just fantastic. So, Rotary does so much, and there's so much going on at Rotary International. And when you get to be a president's rep, you're honored to give the message of what they want to give you. And it's, pretty many pages. So what I did was I did a pretty slideshow with pretty pictures, because that's what we learned. We're supposed to have pretty pictures. I learned that last night from being here. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through, as a review, what the president messages are. And it's an honor to be here representing Jennifer Jones and Nick Kriachek. So everything in Rotary over the last few years has been run by the Rotary Action Plan. It started out as a strategic plan, and we had 3 trustees from the Rotary Foundation, and we had 3 directors from Rotary International, and they came together as a committee. The chair of the committee was Stephanie Yurchik, who's our Rotary International president nominee. She'll be president in 24-25. So what they did is they sent out 1 million pieces of questionnaires through emails. About 7.2% of the people replied back, so 75,000. And then they listened to them and said, what do you want Rotary to be? And Rotary came up with this beautiful vision statement. And our vision statement, this is the dream of what we want. Together, everything in Rotary happens together. You can't do it by yourself. We see a world where people unite to take action to create lasting change in the world, in our communities, and in ourselves. Because when we do things in Rotary, it does change us. So that's the overall arching vision. But how do you get there? You never achieve a vision unless you have goals. So we have 4 strategic priorities: to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. So I'm going to quickly just go through these because it gives us a lens that we can use going forward. So increasing our impact. We don't want to work harder, we want to have better results. When we talk about impact, it's like when I went to Honduras to build the well with my fellow Rotarians. It's not the well isn't the impact, that's an outcome. The impact is taking the infant mortality rate from 85% down to 25%. If we're planting mangrove trees, the outcome is planting the trees, but the reforesting and the increased oxygen is the impact. So we're going for increased impact in everything we do. And of course, Rotary happens at the club level, so we want to think about this when we do the things at our club. We want to expand our reach in Rotary. We have 4.2 million Rotarians, which now Rotaractors have been elevated to a membership class, so that includes our Rotaractors. So we have 4.2 million Rotarians and Rotaractors. I just think too aspirationally, you're right. I'm so glad I'm among friends, so I don't have to worry about that. 1.4. I knew I should have gone home earlier from that happy hour last night. But we want to go from 1.4 to that 4.2. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to reach out to our members, not only in our clubs to retain them, but we want to bring more in. And the way we're going to do that is through different channels in Rotary. So Rotary International, the Membership Growth Committee, has a pilot project called Connect, where you can actually type in questions, the community at large, to Rotary International staff, and they'll answer in regular language, not Rotaryese. And then there's other programs going on in Australia and Rotary International, Great Britain and Ireland. We have 2 pilot programs that were approved at the last council legislation. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to have people join Rotary in a different way. Right now, you have to join a club to join Rotary. But in Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland, they have the Hub, which is a Microsoft Teams platform where people can just say, I want to join Rotary, but I don't want to join a club, and give their interests. So that's some of the things we're doing in that area. Then we go to enhance participant engagement. And that word participant is very important. We could have said Rotary members, we could have said Rotarians, we could have said Rotaractors, but we said participants. Why? Because we want to interact with individuals, not just in our clubs, but everyone we come in contact with. You know, my wife Catherine and I are hosting an exchange student right now. He is a participant. The other host families, they're a participant. The people who come to our service projects and our socials, they're participants. So Rotary International has taken $19.5 million from its budget, and it reorganized its programs just recently under a new department manager to focus on enhancing the participant engagement. So we just got to think about that in everything we do, and I'll tell you, they've done a great job at this TriCon in doing that. I feel like everyone's been engaged. The last thing we want to do is we want to increase our ability to adapt. That means we have to do things differently sometimes in our club. We have to look at our club and we have to say, look at everything, look at the governance documents, look at the committees, see if there's a way to do things better. You know, make your club a place where people feel like they can be comfortable in bringing up new ideas and try new ideas. You know, if you're in a club that's got the golf tournament that's been going down in attendance, or the gala has been going down in attendance, then go ahead and start a car raffle or something like that. Just think of new ideas, try new things. You know, no organization can exist for 118 years like Rotary unless we adapt. So we have to make that a priority. So every year the president has some initiatives, and Jennifer is no exception. She had some really great initiatives. So Rotary last year gained 3,500 members, which is the first time in 25 years that we've grown as a national organization, international organization. Yes. And we were all so happy about that. So what Jennifer wanted us to focus on this year is comforting and caring for our members. And when I was walking in here, someone said, make sure you mention Imagine. And she was right. Thank you, Shannon, wherever you are. We have been imagining Rotary, and your governors have been working hard to imagine Rotary and actually try to make Rotary better after they imagine what it could be, working towards it. And she also had the Empowering Girls Initiative, which was started last year by President Shaker. That's going to continue next year. It's going to be expanded so that we're unlocking the power of not only girls but women. So look forward to that. Membership. Membership, we actually have 1.42 million. I was just told that, so I know that. In 46,000 clubs. So, you know, there's always a debate. Are we a membership organization or are we a service organization? And the reality is we are a membership organization. We exist to add value to our members. You know, in the policies, Article 5 says we are a membership organization. Of course we do the world's best service, and of course that engages people. But we have to remember that's our number one internal priority. So when you look at the numbers, it's kind of sad that every year we bring in approximately 150,000 people, and we lose 150,000 people. And the scariest part about that is when we lose them. We lose 52% of our members in the first 3 years that they join Rotary. You know, after 3 years, they're like all of us. On Saturday, they're even thinking Saturday afternoon, they're still doing Rotary things. Karen even gets dressed up and sings karaoke. I mean, come on, let's give Karen a hand for doing that. So last year, which is a typical year, we lost 10% of our Rotarians in their first year. 19,000 people is what we lost. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to start new clubs, cause-based clubs, things that keep people engaged until they get to where you are. After 3 years, you're a lifetime Rotarian, you get your lifelong friends, you would never leave. So we also were asked to imagine DEI. DEI is important. Why is it important? Because we currently, most of our clubs, our traditional legacies clubs, don't represent the demographics in our community. And we're trying to get more inclusive. You know, younger people want to join places that have diversity of opinion. So that's important. So they had a code of conduct, they had a task force, which is now been turned into an advisory council. And there's lots of courses you can take on the Rotary Learning Center if you're interested in that or you want to talk about it more. And what we found out is it's hard to change the demographics of our current clubs, but when we start new clubs, they end up being more diverse. They usually have better gender equity and things like that. So if we want to move the needle, what we found out is the districts that are starting new clubs have more diversity than the districts that aren't. So public image. You know, these are the pretty pictures I put together for you so you wouldn't get bored. That is a picture of the Rose Bowl Parade, and you can see float that Rotary won the Princess Award this year. Now, you might wonder, why is that important? If you don't win an award, you usually don't get on TV. And 80 million people, with the replays and all that, watch this, and it gives Rotary good public image. And if you look on that saddle, I'm the Monopoly-looking guy, watch it by the polls. So, but it's important that we do so many good things in Rotary, but so many people have heard the word Rotary, but they don't know what we're about. And then sometimes we're our own worst enemy because we don't use the right logos and we don't use the brand the right way. So they're encouraging everyone to go to the brand center and make your logos in the brand center, because then you know it's right. We also have the people of action. If you've ever seen any of those posts on Facebook that say, you know, together we learn, together we save lives, you can get all those in the brand center as well. Fundraising, there's a few things I want you to know about. So we talked about membership as our number one internal priority. What our number one external, programmatic, external priority is polio. That's important. That's going to be our legacy project. We can point to it and say, we have done this. We have cured polio. And if we do that, we're able to get other project partners to do other things. They also want us to focus on having every Rotarian give every year. You know, my wife just challenged our club to a contest. She's winning, by the way. Her club is winning right now. But so it's not only the major donors, it's not only the Arch Clump societies, but if we can get every Rotarian in the year to give, it just gives a habit of giving, which is what we need. And of course, we're working on a big endowment campaign, and there's an easy way to give to Rotary called Rotary Direct, where you can just get on the computer and you could actually log in. It's pretty easy. And when it comes to grants, we want to have sustainable projects. We want to have projects with great impact, again, going back to the action plan priorities. And we want to involve Rotaractors in our programs. And they want you to come to Melbourne for the International Convention. And for those of you who've been interested in club culture, there will be a breakout session on club culture there. So now it's time to move on to our next segment. Thank you.
Our thanks again for Tom being with us. At this time, we are going to introduce our next year's district governors. And here to introduce our governors, our current governors, Dave and Ben, as well as immediate past district governor, Lisa Warner. And now call them to the stage to introduce next year's district governors.
I'd like to have Julia Wallace please come to the stage. Julia Wallace is a 12-year veteran of the Downtown Green Bay Rotary Club and a past district trainer. She's retired from the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay after serving as professor of psychology and vice chancellor for academic affairs. Originally from upstate New York, she's held higher education positions in 5 states. She's an avid biker and library aficionado. Please welcome the 2023-2024 Governor for Rotary District 6220, Julia Wallace.
and Michelle McGrath right on time up on the stage. Michelle McGrath is a prevention mental health specialist and program coordinator for Wanakee Community Cares Coalition. She is past president of the Madison Downtown Rotary Club. She is co-creator and lead facilitator at Zenith Retreats. She received degrees from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, Marian University, and Edgewood College. Please welcome 2023-24 Governor for District 6250, Michelle McGrath.
I now call Don Griffing to the stage. Don Griffing is a project management and process improvement expert, drawing from a 32-year career in information technology as a software developer. In 2002, he founded his own company focused on cloud-based application. Don became a Rotarian in 2007 after years as a Rotary Andy in support of his wife Marjorie, a past club president of the Rotary Club of St. Paul No. 10. Since 2007, Don has been an active Rotarian in 4 clubs and 5 districts, serving in a variety of roles. He was an early adopter of e-clubs and is a leader in leveraging technology to keep Rotarians engaged to sustain the good work that they do. Please welcome your 2023-24 Governor for District 6270, Don Griffing.
Congratulations to our district governors-elect. Thank you to each of you for your service to our districts and to Rotary itself. As you all know, our president-elect, R. Gordon R. McAnally, hails from Scotland. At this time, let's watch a brief video message from him.
In 2006, I visited a village in Thailand, Ban Talangjang, where Rotary members, following the tsunami of 2004, had provided new houses, a meeting hall, a child care facility, and a health care facility. There I was approached by a woman who looked as worn as you might expect of someone who had faced and lived through what she had done. That woman offered me a beautiful seashell. This beautiful seashell. She explained that the shell had been in her possession for more than 30 years. It was one of her very few remaining possessions. And initially, I was reluctant to accept it, but she insisted on giving it to me as a token of her gratitude for what Rotary had done for her. Later on the tour, I saw the woman again, and I learned that she had lost her husband, her daughter, and also her son in the tsunami. She told me that that disaster had taken everything. She lost her family, her home, her livelihood, but worst of all, she had lost hope and all reason to continue to live. But she went on to tell me that Rotary, thanks to all we had done to rebuild her community, had restored her optimism. She told me we had given her hope. This is a beautiful shell. And as I was planning the theme for our year and what it would mean, I was drawn not only to the shell, but also to the colours of the world around us, which are used to great effect by one of Scotland's greatest living artists, John Laurie Morrison, OBE, better known as Joe Lomo, whose paintings Heather and I have admired and collected for many years. As we were selecting the colours for our ties and our scarves, as you can now see on the screen behind me, I wanted them to reflect the world's colours, and more importantly, what Rotary should focus on in our year ahead. The memory of the lady from Thailand, and these colours made me realise that what we should be seeking to do at this time, what we should be using as our call to action, and it all made me realize what our theme should be. And so I am delighted to tell you that our theme for 2023-24 will be Create Hope in the World. Gib der Welt Hoffnung. Crea esperanza en el mundo. Crions l'espoir dans le monde. Creiamo speranza nel mondo. Se kai nikobo o motarasi. Se sage hemang ul. Crii speranga nu mundo. Sai shitie changosao shiwan. Skapa hope e varden. This is how Rotary brings lasting change to the world, one newly created hope at a time. And the theme also begins to explain how we help to create a similar kind of change within ourselves. Because for many people on this planet, lost hope is not a function of material poverty and loss. All of us face challenges that threaten our well-being. And just as it takes tremendous courage to wage peace, so too it is brave to reach out and admit that you need help. In the wake of the pandemic, more people than ever are hurting. Many have lost the people closest to them. Others have seen their social networks uprooted. Divisions have grown wider. Opportunities for connection have been lost. And some of those hurting the most are the children and young adults whose education and social skills building has been so interrupted. And to make matters worse, in many parts of the world, asking for help, especially in mental health, is considered a weakness. But nothing could be further from the truth. It is brave to be vulnerable and to admit you don't have all the answers. Reaching out for help is courageous, and continuing on a path towards wellness even more so. Later this week, I will explain why I feel so strongly about the topic of mental health. And you will be hearing about some of the steps we will be taking over the next year and hopefully beyond to improve the mental health system, not only for our Rotary members, but for our communities as well. I want Rotary to become known as an organisation that takes care of its members as well as the people we serve. Any mental health professional will tell you that by helping ourselves, we essentially help others. The evidence overwhelmingly shows that helping others benefits our mental health and our well-being by reducing stress and improving our mood. The friendships developed along the way foster an incredible sense of community and camaraderie, themselves essential ingredients to mental health and wellness. So, these are our plans for the year ahead. That we help bring peace to the world and soothe those afflicted by conflict. And that we help each other and our communities deal with our own internal struggles, and that we end the stigma associated with asking for help. In all these actions, the goal is to create hope, to help the world heal from destructive conflicts, and in turn to help us achieve lasting change for ourselves. Rotary helps create the conditions for peace, opportunity, and a future worth living. By continuing what we do best, by remaining open and willing to change, And by keeping our focus on building peace in the world and within ourselves, Rotary creates a more peaceful world, a more hopeful world. And so, as Rotary leaders from all the regions, I urge you to create hope in the world. Thank you very much.
Our thanks to incoming Rotary International President McAnally for that message. And with that idea of creating hope in the world, let's bring back our governors-elect, Julia, Michelle, and Don, to the stage, where they will engage in a discussion moderated by President's Representative, Tom Gump.
Thank you, Dustin. You know, we've come to our last session here, and I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about this because, you know, we've been talking about what Jennifer has done for the year, and she's done a great job, and Gordon's going to be great in the continuity. And so it's going to be great to ask you all, our district governor-elects here, I guess it's 63 days now, and you'll be running your district, so we want to know what you're going to do. So we have a few strategically placed questions that we would like you to discuss and answer. And I'm not going to call on you individually. You just pipe up when you want to speak. And then we got sumo suits in the back in case we have to, you know, you guys disagree. Okay, question number one, as you can see on the big screens. How can we encourage more individuals and organizations to promote mental health and well-being?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So some of you may have heard that I'm in that space, mental health and prevention. And so one of the things just in general is to be vulnerable, like our speaker last night, that when you are up there and you can be vulnerable with folks and share your story, it allows them to be able to be vulnerable and do the same thing. And so we're in District 6250, we've gotten a task force together of folks that are working in that space and thinking about what we can do to provide resources and speakers to our clubs and our members so they can have that connection and address some of those issues in their communities.
I think I agree too, is providing resources in the newsletters that we submit to our clubs to know that there are resources available both at the district level and at the club level. I also think that since mental health, and as mentioned by our new RI president, has really affected children a great deal and provided a lot of social isolation. So we should concentrate a little bit more on developing Interact and Rotaract clubs so that we can help them in the school time when they really need that help in mental health.
And they've said it very well, and one of the things that I would like to bring up is that in addition to us mirroring proper mental health, you know, I shared at PETS that I had some problems in February, and I reached out to my classmates to say, hey, stuff's not going well, and I got through it, but we need to mirror what we want people to do. The other part is one of the speakers that we had at Midwest Pets was talking about we need to make connections, and we often say, how are you? But really, how are you? And when we heard him speak at Zone, we all know this little game that we play with little kids. Peekaboo. That's what we need to be doing, encouraging others to do.
Wonderful. DGE's question 2. How can partnerships and collaborations be strengthened to create more impactful outcomes?
I'll start on that. I think we as Rotarians and district leaders need to develop partnerships within our district. It's not just all for Rotary. We need to be visible out there and invite people to the table, as we've been talking about, and those collaborations can develop between us. I think that we should take a look at the geographic span of our own district and see what they connect to. For example, in 6220, we found that our geographic region corresponds very well to the Girl Scouts, and therefore the partnership between our club and the Girl Scouts makes a lot of sense. I'm a library nut, so I'm on a Nicolet Federated Library System board, and our NFLS district corresponds also to our district. So are things that we can do with our libraries in our district that will develop partnerships across the way. I think even though most of our time is going to be devoted to Rotary and that all those things that we have to do, I think it's going to be a long year. We still have to be visible in our community. We have to wear our Rotary shirts, and we have to volunteer for others so that they want to come and join us.
You know, I'll go. A lot of you got to see it in action here in La Crosse, the mobile clinic that the lacrosse clubs worked on here and worked with community organizations. You can do really impactful, great things when you collaborate with other groups, and like Julia said, then you're out visibly in your community, working together, showing them that what great things can happen when you work together.
And something that I noticed when I worked in corporate America is in software development is there was lots of times, well, we didn't write it here, so we're not going to use it. We're going to write it ourselves. And as Rotary clubs, we don't have all of the expertise. We're not subject matters in all of the problems that can be done. And I'll highlight the Rotary Club of Milwaukee, where they partner with Engineers Without Borders to do water projects in Guatemala. There's strategic plans that are available through Rotary International, where we just submitting a global grant project with USAID for Serbia. So, you know, it's those partnerships, because the partnerships are hopefully bi-directional, because not only are we help providing our expertise, but we're getting some information, and who knows, we might get somebody saying, hey, I need to investigate Rotary a little bit more.
Well, if anyone can do all those three things, I know it's you three. So, question number 3 for our DGEs: what are you most hopeful for in the year ahead, and how will you create positive hope in the world and create positive peace?
So, number 3. So I guess I'll start this one off. One of the reasons why I want to start this off is positive peace. That's capitalized. What does that mean? And this was a concept that I learned at the end of my term as club president. Up until that point, I thought of peace as the absence of conflict. Positive peace is actually measurable things that we can do to create peaceful spaces. The Institute of Economics and Peace has 23 measurable metrics that they do a global peace index every year, and measuring when peace is going up or down, and they've been doing it for 20 years now. And there's 8 pillars of positive peace. At the same time, I learned that Rotary had partnered with this organization to create the Rotary Peace Academy. And so any Rotarian can go to the Rotary Peace Academy, sign up, and learn about these 8 pillars of positive peace and how they relate to Rotary's values and missions. So that's one of the things that, as far as creating positive hope, I mean, want to have people go there. As far as one of them I'm most hopeful for is, now I lost my train of thought. So I'm going to pause there, and I'll let my colleagues, and maybe I'll come back to me.
I guess first up, I'm most hopeful for a lot of fun being at Oktoberfest and the Ugly Sweater Run and all of the things that we get to do in our districts when we get to be with our club members out in our communities. And I think about how I'm going to create hope in the world or positive peace. I mean, what I really hope to do is just bring joy within everything we do in our districts, in our world. Like I think about RILA, which is coming up in a week for us. And going into those situations, just being ready to just give that experience to those young people that they need to connect. If anyone was at my session yesterday, we had 2 of the young women that have grown up in RILA and now are doing incredible things as adults, but still come back and give back at that program. And so just by us providing those experiences, we provide hope for those young young students, and then they come back and provide hope for other people. So it's cyclical. So I just want to make sure that that's what we continue to do, and I hope to do that next year as well.
Thank you. I think there can't be a better message than our district governor from Poland that gave us this morning about creating hope in the world. I'd like to broadcast that more widely in our district, so every one of our clubs knows what their club is doing in supporting terrible situations all across the world. In addition, I'd like to be able to broadcast and get more attention to what the clubs do to create hope in their own communities. So we'd like to get more examples of how our Rotary clubs in our district are coming forward to welcome individuals into Wisconsin, into their clubs, into the UP in Michigan, and creating hope in our own backyard.
And that gave me time to get my thoughts back again. So the other part of it is something that I heard in the breakout session about creating peaceful spaces. The past district governor, Chuck Fitzgerald from there, said he believes that every act of service is an action of peace. And I know for my own self that every act of service that I do, I get something back for myself. I gain some hopefulness. And, I do service a lot more for the warmth and knowing that I've done something better for other people. And that's the hope that I want to bring, hope that others in the district come to.
Well, that's a lot of hope, and I'm excited for next year. So Rotary seems to have a magic number, which is 4. We have the 4-way test. We have the 4 action plan priorities. We had 4 founding fathers. So this is the 4th and final question. It's like Jeopardy. And we want Don to answer this one first. Do you plan to wear your kilts to your club visits?
Thank you. And at Midwest Pets, I said that I was going to give the clubs the option for me to show up in a kilt or not. I mean, kilt or pants.
Were there survey results? Or was there focus groups? I don't know.
Afterwards, there were lots of focus groups. Oh, me. Well, I love costumes, so you're for sure gonna see lots of costumes and probably a kilt here and there in my DG year.
I doubt it. But what I would like to do is to bring my kilt or a scarf or something that has a Scottish tradition, just to connect to our clubs, to know that they have a connection to the world. And that's why we're wearing these kilts, because we are respecting our new Rotary International president, and we want to make sure that his presence is available to our clubs as well.
So if I heard it right, we have a yes, a no, and a heck no. So we will now turn the program back to Dustin.
Thank you, Tom, for moderating that discussion. And thank you, Julia, Michelle, and Don, for sharing your thoughts about creating hope in our world and our districts next year. Well, let's turn our attentions once again to the screen for a bit for a brief video about TriCon 2024 in Green Bay. Reason to get excited about next year. How about it? Looks like a great time in Titletown, and we already have lined up 2 of our keynote speakers for next year. The speakers at TriCon 2024 include Taylor Hui, is a medical device design engineer at Stryker Instruments. She was a charter president of the Rotaract Club of Duke University as well, and a charter president, again, of Duke University's Rotaract Club. Fantastic. And then Greg Pod is a retired CPA and personal financial specialist who served as the vice president of Rotary International and as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. So some great speakers already lined up, and as you can see, save the date for that. It looks exciting. We hope to see you there. Now, those of you here, one among you, will be lucky enough to win 3 free hotel nights at the Hyatt Regency in Green Bay for that TriCon 2024, valued up to $500. And of course, you're all here, so you all can win. I've got the bucket with the raffle drawing names in here, and I also have a letter of your winning. If you win, please come up to the podium and I will hand that to you. All right, so here we go. Shake it up. Not looking. And we have, from District 6270, John Henderson of Elkhorn. Is John here? He had to leave. Oh, no. Well, hopefully this is a reminder to fill out the feedback survey. Somebody let John know so he has another chance to win. All right, we'll draw again then. Got to be present to win. How about from 6250, Mary Huffcutt from Chippewa Falls? Is Mary still here? No? Is third time the charm on this one? Ben, do you want to come up and do the honors? Maybe you have better luck than I do. How about from 6270, Michael Walsh from Lake Geneva? Is Michael here? We'll keep drawing until we find somebody. 6220, Lisa Dodson of Wausau. Crickets. Keep drawing. What do we got? 6250, Steve Holman of La Crescent. No Steve. You got to stay till the last session, everyone. How about from 6220, Anita Geardy of Packerland Sunrise? Is she here? Hey, there we go. All right. We've got our winner. Thanks, Ben. Only took a couple of tries to get it right there. But congratulations to Anita, and we look forward to hopefully seeing all of you next year at TriCon 2024 in Green Bay. Now, our service project, you may have seen the setup going on out there, Meals for Ukraine. This starts at 4:15 today, right in the back of the ballroom there. And it's sponsored by Lakeland Care. So here to tell us a little bit more about Lakeland Care is Kim Eschenbach. Kim.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you for being so warm and welcoming to me. I had such a great opportunity to meet all of you during this event, and it's just been a joy for me. So thank you so much. I'm an organizational impact coach at Lakeland Care, and in that role, I've had the opportunity to work with Lakeland for over 13 years. We are a Wisconsin-based organization that provides supports and services through the Family Care Program. We've also had the opportunity to grow to 22 counties in the state, and we've been doing this for over 20 years. Our mission is empowering individuals, strengthening communities, and inspiring futures. And I just wanted to touch a little bit on each of those areas. When we look at empowering individuals, we really lean into a strengths-based approach and using strengths for individuals to become independent and feel empowered to move forward in their lives in a successful way. When we look at strengthening communities, We partner with providers as well as community partners to provide supports and services to our members, and then also we give back through programs like our volunteer hours. And this year we have increased our volunteer time off, and we are anticipating being able to offer 13,000 hours of volunteerism in our communities. And then we also are excited because we're doing a day of giving, which is going to be an additional 2,000 hours. And we're just really looking forward to giving back and being part of the connection that we have within our communities that we serve. And then lastly, when we're looking at inspiring futures, we really lean into our mission and our vision and our values. And we've had a great deal of success, and we want to be able to partner with other individuals to help them move forward and be successful in their organizations as well. And we're going to be doing that through partnering with coaching and training and collaborative work throughout organizations in our state and beyond. So I just wanted to say I thank you so much for the time and being here and our connection and our ability to move forward in inspiring other individuals, because together we build better lives. So thank you.
Our thanks to Kim and for Lakeland Care, and thank you to everyone who signed up to volunteer today for Meals for Ukraine. Now, we are nearing the end of this TriCon 2023, but before we go, still some important announcements. If you were a winner of the silent auction seen up on the screens there, please make sure to check out in the registration area and pick up your prizes before you go. Don't forget, there will be another opportunity to win as well, a hotel stay for the 3 free nights at TriCon 2024 in Green Bay, and that's by completing the post-conference evaluation, which will be emailed out, check your email, 2 days after this conference, so watch for that, and you have another chance to at least get your room covered to join us in Green Bay next year. And don't forget, join us for Pints for Polio tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. Last-minute tickets can still be purchased from 7 to 9 at Big Al's Bar in La Crosse on 3rd Street there. Your $40 goes toward a Pints for Polio pint glass, a passport, and 3 drink tickets, not to mention all the good times you're going to be having and continuing to share with your fellow Rotarians. You can visit Big Al's, The Crow, Christo's Taverna, Dublin Square Irish Pub and Eatery, Grounded Patio Cafe, Taqueria Pato Azul, La Crosse Distilling Company, and Bodega Brew Pub. A lot of fun will be had by all. So join the gathering at Big Al's at 9 o'clock as well tonight, where Tom Conrad has volunteered his musical expertise for all of our enjoyment. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity, again, to support a great cause of Rotary while enjoying a night out in our lovely town here. Thank you all for joining us here this year in La Crosse. I'll invite our District Governor-elect up for one final farewell. Thank you all for attending this year, and we hope to see you next year in Green Bay. And with that, TriCon 2023 is now adjourned. Thank you all. Congratulations.